Josh Allen doesn't quite have a wide receiver one now that Stefon Diggs is on the Texans. He was asked about it during media availability, and here's what he said. Take a listen.
Obviously, I wish we can keep everybody. We've made a lot of changes this offseason, lost a lot of veteran leadership, Steph being one of them. I guess that's the nature of the business, and going into year 7 now, it just kind of is what it is. I don't get paid to make changes on the team. I get paid to be the best quarterback that I can be and try to lead the guys on this team.
I don't know if I agree with them. AFC East odds, Bills still at 1, Miami on their heels. Hold on, what did he say on that podcast? Jets at 3. And the frisky will be better than you think Patriots at 4. Brew, do the Bills deserve to be AFC East favorites?
Deserve, sure. I mean, look, they've won it the last 4 years.
Sure.
They have the best quarterback in the division. The other franchises, save the Patriots, who are bad right now, have been pretty much historically bad, at least the last few decades. All right. Yeah. So that's fine. But on paper, the best team in the division is the Jets.
Oh, God.
On paper, like Nick says, if everybody's healthy, if we're assuming,
only say
if we're
that in
assuming
basketball,
everybody's
not
healthy,
in football, when it never is the case. But go ahead.
If everybody's healthy, the Jets are the best team. They won 7 games last year with the worst quarterback play in the league. They beat Buffalo. They beat Philadelphia. They beat Houston with the worst quarterback play in the league. If Rodgers is just solid with these weapons. You ever heard of Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson's
heard of
excellent.
Mike Williams?
Well, I mean, his orthopedist.
He's darn near excellent when he's healthy.
Okay.
Brees Hall.
Darn near excellent.
I mean, come on. They got weapons, man.
Hold on. Jets fans are going to get mad at me. Whatever. Brees Hall's fine. Brees Hall's fine.
Yeah.
He was awesome the
fine
first half
running
dozen
back
games
is
of
all
his
you
career.
need
Right,
nowadays. A fine running back might run for 1,200 yards.
Okay, well, Brees Hall last year didn't manage 1,000.
Well,
even though the Jets tried to game the final game of the season to get him to 1,000. In addition to being poorly coached, they're poor at math, and he ended up missing out on it. They're like, somebody screwed up the Advocates.
How are they poor? And I'm not saying that Saleh is Vince Lombardi.
Okay.
How are they poorly coached when they won 7 games and beat the teams I just mentioned with Zach Wilson at quarterback?
Listen, I am this weird guy who believes the coach's stat is wins. I know you don't. Do you think it's
but I need some players.
Okay, I get it. My point is,
I need a QB.
I don't know how to evaluate Robert Saleh other than the coaching staff he fills out. I'm unimpressed by. I don't think Nat Hackett's an inspiring offensive coordinator choice. His game management, which I'm wildly unimpressed by. And then his win-loss record, which is bottom 10 in the modern era of coaches who have gotten this many games. Okay, so here's the thing. So I'm glad you keep focusing on quarterback. Because I know this will shock people, I'm not the biggest Buffalo Bills fan. I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan. But I agree with what you said. He is clearly the best quarterback in the division. I bet every other division favorite that you would pick has the best quarterback in that division. Every single one. Brew, who do you like in the AFC North this year?
He's going to get
Baltimore.
Who's and you?
Okay.
Yeah, and CJ
But that doesn't
Houston.
mean, I don't know.
And
Let's
Mahomes.
go to the NFC.
Yeah, let's go to it. Who do you like in the NFC East this year? Philly.
I like Philly.
Okay, who's
There's
the best
an
quarterback?
argument, though.
No, but
last year, Dak. Was Jalen on the MVP ballots?
No. And by the way,
but
Dallas,
Dak was closer than.
And they won the division. So, but you think Jalen's better, and you think the NFC?
I think it's
NFC South. Brew. Who do you like this year?
NFC South.
I know
like
who
Atlanta.
Okay, who's the best quarterback?
NFC
West.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna get him.
Why?
Okay, wait.
NFC West.
Yeah.
Who do I like?
You like the Niners and Brock. Exactly.
Yeah. And he's better than Matthew Stafford?
You think he is?
No,
that's why you like him.
Is he better than Matthew Stafford?
No, and I like the Rams more than the Niners, buddy.
You like the Rams? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So my point, I think, here's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
I think Brew's a closet Jets fan.
Oh, yeah.
I think I keep it real.
Listen,
I just keep it real.
Because you're doing something for the Jets you wouldn't do for any other team, which is say, despite the fact that they clearly don't have the best quarterback in the division, and despite the fact that they clearly don't have the best coach in the division, I'll pick them to win it anyway. That's.
But it's the roster.
But Brew, that roster that we're talking about.
If the quarterback is pretty good,
right?
He's a good quarterback.
But we're talking, Brew, like Miami is dismissed entirely from this conversation. But if I came on here and said weapons, we want to talk weapons, Miami would have that.
We know what Miami's problem is.
What the Jets' problem is everything. It's history. It's everything.
It's health.
You think it's just a health issue?
What else is it? What's the other than health? What's the problem? History doesn't matter. I mean, Bills haven't had a great history recently.
I mean, okay, go ahead.
Have they? I mean, health. All that doesn't matter. The history. Okay. I'm talking about right now. What have you done for me?
Jets.
In that division, the division's a muck.
We'll see. Texas GM Nick Caserio pushed back against the insinuation that Stefon Diggs may be a disruptive presence in the locker room. Take a listen.
I think it's unfair to label anybody until they actually have an opportunity to walk in the building. Again, our environment's different than another environment, so we really don't know what's going on in 31 other buildings. We know what's going on in our building, so excited to have stuff here.
Okay. Any chance this trade backfires?
I think, of course, there's a chance it backfires. So Diggs, every year with Buffalo, had 160 targets. The fewest was one. We can show it, I guess. The Wilds has it. That it was amazingly consistent. Yep. And I was shocked that last year, because his production fell off a cliff at the end, that last year was still, exactly where it was every other year. Mm-hmm. For the Texans last year, Brew, one guy had more than 90, and it was Nico Collins at 109. Yeah. I think that come September after training camp, Nico Collins might be considered a better player than Stefon Diggs. I'm not guaranteeing that. I think it's on the board. One player's on the way up, one guy's on the way down. And this is the downside, in my opinion, to the ripping up of the contract that they did. Stefon is going to theoretically be on his best behavior because it's a free agent year. But he also might be extra irritated if he's not getting the targets because it's a free agent year. So I'm not predicting this is a disaster. It's so low risk, so low cost, I should say. But of course there's a chance that he comes in there, is marginalized for the first time since, his early part of his career in Minnesota, and is not happy about it. So yeah, I say yes.
No, I agree. Look, I think he's smart enough to know it's a contract year. Got somewhat of a reputation out there, all right? So let me be on my best behavior. But as Nick said, the contract year could work the other way. I need some numbers. Yeah. If Tank Dell or Nico Collins is getting more targets, more numbers, and Steph starts squawking with a young quarterback, honestly, if that were the case, I would trade him or cut him. Yeah. I would not let that ruin I wouldn't really ruin my season. And I don't think, I'm with Nick, I don't think he's going to do it, but it is on the board. And if he does start doing it, I got to get rid of him.
It's a good test for CJ.
Yeah, CJ's leadership, he'll have to handle it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good, in a weird way, this is kind of, I'm sure this isn't why Caserio did it, but this is a benefit of having a, call it flamboyant's the wrong word, but potentially, emotional, mercurial player is for your young head coach and young quarterback, getting them experience in dealing with it, seeing how they deal with it, and seeing how, if it doesn't go right, how they can learn from that. Because I know people are super high on the Texans this year, and I understand why people would be. But they're if their Super Bowl window's open, it is barely and has just. It's going to get, the window's going to open wider. And so having this type of experience, for good or for bad, could be good for them.
You can't be forcing it to Steph.
You got to do a little bit. A little bit. He needs to do early. He's bubble screen.
He got to play his best.
Embiid, possible early exit. What does this mean?
I have an insane Embiid